When you start creating and showing up as the girl that your best clients are naturally drawn to, we're not just leaving that up to chance, hoping, oh my God, hoping the content is gonna hit. No, we're implementing strategically into your content, into your business. Welcome back to the podcast. It's me, Malika. So I want you to jump on that train with us, naturally attracting all of the best clients to them with their content and with how they're just showing up and what they're implementing in their business, okay? We have a lot to unpack. It's gonna be so good. Go grab your matcha, go on your hot girl walk. It's actually, if you are in Montreal, like it is actually hot outside now, so you can go on your hot girl walk, okay? If I'm being quite honest, okay, you never really get what you deserve. You get what you create space for, okay? And this applies to what you're getting when it comes to your clients, when it comes to, you know, who you're attracting and like what your content is really doing. And honestly, you hold the key to how you get to train others on the level that they're ranking you on, and also the amount of value that they are associating to you, because there is a strategic way to do that and to choose how you're being perceived rather than just leaving it up to the public. I had one of my clients come to me and she asked me, you know, oh my God, I'm actually really scared to tell one of my clients this boundary that I want to put in place because she's treating me like this, but I'm not really comfortable because I'm a professional, like I'm not like a bestie, you know? And so, but I'm scared that I'm going to get ruined, and I'm gonna like ruin my reputation by doing that and like putting a boundary and everything. And like that happens to more people than you think, okay? Like this is not the first person who like asked me something like this. And the thing is, that's the thing. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you create space for. So inherently, like you will get more of that if you never put down a boundary, especially when you are building your personal brand and you know the value of your personal brand. You don't want to get canceled. Like, you know, you're like thinking, oh my God, I don't want to get canceled. But doing this actually adds more respect to your name, more authority to your name, not less. And it increases the value, right? And so that's what it means with, you know, kind of like also being able to implement these like strategic things into your content, into how you're showing up, because then it impacts like how other people perceive your value and who gets naturally drawn to you. Putting it super simply, it's about prioritizing the success of your business, not doing what's comfortable. Okay, like prioritizing the success of your business means that like you will make uncomfortable changes, but these are the changes that pulls you into the reality that you want, not the one that you currently have or don't want more of. You are also making it so that you are not afraid to fully step in your authority, in your power. So that is kind of like the bare minimum of what is required so that you can start getting and seeing the result that you want from how you are showing up and how you're operating in your business. When you're not getting rewarded enough for the amount of time that you're putting in, the amount of effort that you're putting in, or talent, 9 times out of 10, this is what I see happening. Okay, this is what I see happening. The real issue that's happening behind the operation is like, are you creating for views? Are you creating to attract a specific kind of dream clients, right? Because it's going to look super different when you're creating content for like the general public and like misses everyone versus for the clients that you say you want more of, that it works in the way that on the level that you actually are wanting it to work. I get it because it can be so easy when you're on social media. You're like, oh my God, like if I have more likes, then it means that like more people are seeing my thing, so that means I'm gonna have more of what I want, which is actually not really the case. And honestly, like I honestly relate, because I was like this too, and I also had an era where I did a lot of influencing and a lot of work for brands, and so I get it. But there is a very different approach that needs to happen depending on like what's the goal. Because when your clients look at your content, they need to go, oh my God, I'm going to binge your whole page. And then right away, they're going to be like, oh my God, like I've been looking for someone that does this for so long, like exactly how you do it, and they're gonna be sold on your personal brand so instantly, and then they're gonna go with you. They're gonna buy your service, they're gonna buy your program, they're gonna book with you, whatever, right? And so that's the goal. Like that is the goal. And here's a little analogy for you to actually visualize this properly. is imagine a room full of any kind of client, okay? But they're not all the clients that like adore your work and pay without hesitation. Like, but you have like a room full of them, right? So are you creating for all of these clients, or are you creating for the 3 out of that 100 crowd that is actually your dream clients? Because who you create for is going to be what you create the space for, right? And so the next time, then there's going to be more of those 3 dream clients. Maybe there's going to be 10, then after there's going to be 50. You know what I mean? And so what are you creating space for? And this is exactly why I say, like, sometimes it's just about what are you creating space for? Because you don't get what you deserve, you get what you create space for. You get what you're a match for. It honestly comes down to being able to sacrifice kind of like the short-term reward for the long-term payoff that you actually want. So yes, maybe you're losing out on all of these people, but if you want more of these like dream, amazing clients that like choose you time and time again, and like they get instantly drawn to you, like, then you need to create that space for that. That's when you start designing your personal brand to actually position you as the no-brainer choice and as the girl that like your clients naturally get drawn to. The way that you're already investing in yourself, that stuff, like, it shapes, you know, how your business is experienced. It also shapes, you know, how you internally operate as a service provider, as a coach. And so that means that now your online presence and your reputation, it needs to also match the level that you are operating at internally and the standard that you are upholding to yourself. Like, absolutely, it needs to come to the outside and not just stay internal. And so, you know, whatever you are investing in yourself, investing in your business, and whatever standard you uphold to yourself, like, they need to come out of the surface and actually be reflected in your personal brand. Because think of it as 2 sides of the same magnet, right? One is meant to repel so that the other one can create that pull, right? So there's always a repel and a pull. And so this is where also some of the implementation of the strategic implementation needs to happen, where it's not like you don't want to be out here posting content that's going to repel everyone, but it's about repelling in a strategic way and also creating that pull in a strategic way that truly speak to the client that you want. It can be so easy to just start creating for the people that are in your field, the coach that are understanding your language and that are like understanding all of these terms, or the service provider that are doing the same thing as you. And then all of a sudden you're kind of like losing the grip on all of these clients that would be willing to pay you so much more money, and like that are actually looking for an expert like you and someone that is so talented like you. You're kind of like losing the grip on that. And that honestly comes from, you know, creating the content that is more for other people in your field than who it's actually for. And that honestly comes with, you know, doing the comparison of like looking at what other people are doing, looking at like what this person is doing and everything. And then all of a sudden you're starting to think kind of like for them instead of like for your client. If I were to have my dream client like tap all my content and binge all of my video, like, is it super clear that it's for her specifically? Or does it feel like, well, anyone can like go ahead and jump in, or anyone can go ahead and book you, or anyone can go ahead and have like a benefit from your service? Because it's not because everyone can book you or anyone can go with you. That's the way it should be operating. Because what creates the pull, right? What creates that obsession is being able to have a personal brand and have a presence and be showing up in a way that it's super, super clear who it's for. And so that's what creates the pull. That's what gets your clients sold on your personal brand, right? And so when you're thinking, oh my God, like, I don't want to post this because I'm going to be judged, or I don't want to look greedy, or I don't want to, you know, maybe I just need to kind of like explain, or I need to over explain myself what I mean, and like state that like, oh no, like this is my opinion, but like I don't want to ruffle some feathers. It's like, there's no pull that's being created. It's truly about like losing people that are not going to respect your time, your worth, and creating the space for the people who will. Okay, and who will respect your craft, and who will respect your talent, and who will respect your level of dedication to your work and everything. And of course, is your personal brand positioned to make you the no-brainer choice? Most people will answer, well, no, like I am definitely different from so many people in my field that are doing the same thing, and like it's super clear who it's for, right? But I think that like when you are in your business, you need to really step out of it and be like, what does it look like for someone who literally has never heard of me ever in their life? What does it look like from someone who will literally find my content today and like go into my world and everything and look at my work and look at what I do or what I help people with? And I think most of the time we kind of assume that like it's super clear, because it's super clear in your head. Like it's super clear in your head. Like you're like, oh my God, like my craft or what I'm doing is so different from someone else. My style is so different from someone else. What I find is that it's actually not super crystal clear. And what makes the biggest difference is, number one, having your messaging around what you are offering to be clearly different from everybody else, and to actually be able to get the person to butts to move, okay, and be like, oh my God, yes, I need this right now. Let me get that right now. Okay. Next is to have a very, very distinct identity behind your personal brand. Like, and most people don't have this. Like, I'm gonna be so honest, most people really do not have this. It's kind of just like, this is my business, this is me as a person, but there's no like bridge of identity. And that's the thing, that's the main, like that's the core of your personal brand. Like, you know, and so that identity factor, and also having that activation. So having that activation and having that very distinct content. And this is exactly what I call you-oriented content, which is, it's not about, oh my God, what looks the most polished or branded or whatever. It's actually just about making it so impossible to not know that it's your personal brand and that it's you, and that you are so freaking different, and that you are the obvious choice. I really want to end with being able to create that burst of demand into your personal brand, into your content, and for what you're selling. Because this is something that I never even thought of beforehand. For the longest time, I never thought of it as this thing that I had control over. And I always thought of it more as like, well, the demand, the people, the season, whatever, okay? Once you start thinking like that, then you have literally no leverage over what you get to implement in order to change that, right? So this is something that I first started realizing the more and more that I started to work with mentors, is that, you know, there was a lot of things that were lacking and that I actually had control over, but it wasn't even aware of my consciousness. And so, you know, that's also another thing, which is being able to create demand and create the boost in your audience, or, you know, through your personal brand, so that you get to have that, and not leaving it up to the season, or not leaving it up to the other person or whatnot, right? There is specific thing that you get to do so that you can change that. Like, it doesn't have to be all outside factors, going with the flow, going with the wave, and hoping that, you know, you get more of what you want. Like, hell no. Like, you know, this is what it's about. It's about like truly designing and crafting your strategy and your personal brand in a way that like it's so powerful that you get to have leverage over that. Again, it's one thing to be on social media and to be like posting content that's like entertaining other people, but it's definitely another thing to make your content like actually book you, make your content actually have people jump into your program, to have your content like sell your service. Like, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. Okay. And going back to also what I mentioned previously, which is like, where are you creating your content from? Because it's going to look so different. Like, if you're creating it to get highly paid versus you're creating it like for the amount of like that you're getting on it. Not to say that like is definitely feedback. Okay. It's definitely feedback, but positioning, okay. How are you positioning yourself? So immediately what you can start looking at is is my personal brand designed to pull in the clients that I want more of, or the clients that I actually am trying to lose? Or, like, am I positioning myself so I become the only no-brainer choice or not? So like, it's not enough to just have content that looks good or have content that shows what you do. It's not enough, because there needs to be this presence, this activation behind your content. Like, it needs to drive people to take action, not just look at your content and entertain them for 5 seconds and then they scroll and they're seeing someone else who is doing the exact same thing as you, right? That's also, I think, like what I mean by kind of like getting out of your own head about like how clear it is or how different your personal brand is, because 9 times out of 10, maybe it's not. Maybe there needs to be something very much more distinct about you that makes it so that, oh my God, these are her values. Oh my God, this is her mission. Oh my God, this is her story. Oh my God, this is the reason why she cares about her doing this. Oh my God, like, your clients need something beyond just what you do, because then you will always just be like something on the shelf that like people are kind of like just picking with all of the other shit on the shelf, okay? And when you want to be the no-brainer choice, it's because you're positioning yourself, your presence, your impact, what you're doing, your work, you are doing it in a way that is so crystal clear who it's for, who you are, what your personal brand means, and like what they're buying when they're buying you and your personal brand, not just the thing itself. Does that make sense? Becoming that girl that is consistently drawing in all of the right clients, all of the best clients, time and time again. If you know a girly, someone in your circle, a friend, a family member that you know would absolutely eat this up and love to hear about this, then definitely send it to them. And I will see you here next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and don't forget to leave your 5-star rate and review on the podcast. I love to know what you guys think of the episodes, and I will meet you here next week.